The silenced British public will be silent no more. You may have silenced us for 30 years, you may have scared us for all those years, but the cat's out of the bag and ain't getting back in.
Tommy Robinson breaks down, Rishi Sunak has failed Britain. You're not going to believe what just happened. Tommy Robinson has come out swinging against former Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, and the words he used are already making headlines across the country. Robinson didn't hold back. In a fiery video, he accused Sunak of failing Britain, of standing by while ordinary people struggle with rising costs, rising crime, and what he calls a collapse of leadership at the very top. And whether you agree with Robinson or not, this outburst touches a nerve. Because right now, across the UK, people are asking the same question. Has the government truly lost touch with the lives of ordinary citizens? The heart of Robinson's message is frustration. He points to skyrocketing energy bills, a cost of living crisis that has squeezed families, and ongoing worries about border security. His argument, that under former Prime Minister Sunak's leadership, Britain has become weaker, more divided, and less secure. Now, critics will dismiss Robinson as exaggerating. But here's the uncomfortable truth: he isn't speaking into a vacuum. He's tapping into a frustration that millions of people already feel. When Sunak took office, he promised stability after the chaos of Boris Johnson and Liz Truss. He presented himself as the calm, competent technocrat who could steer Britain back on course. But nearly 2 years on, polls tell a different story. Trust in the government is sliding and Sunak's approval ratings remain stubbornly low. That's the political storm Robinson is stepping into. And his words, whether you find them fair or not, are amplifying that storm. The public reaction: explosive. On Twitter, one comment read, "Robinson is extreme, but he's not wrong. Sunak hasn't delivered." Another countered, "This is dangerous rhetoric. Britain is facing challenges, but it's not collapsing." On TikTok, Robinson's clip has been shared, remixed, and debated thousands of times. For some, it's a rallying cry. For others, it's reckless fear-mongering. But either way, it's spreading. And that's the point. In politics today, it's not about who speaks the loudest in Parliament. It's about who dominates the conversation online. Insiders are nervous too. One Conservative MP, speaking to a reporter anonymously, admitted, "Sunak's biggest weakness wasn't policy, it's perception. He looks out of touch, too polished, too detached from working-class struggles." And that's exactly the perception Robinson is hammering on. He frames Sunak as a leader who doesn't understand what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck, who doesn't feel the impact of soaring food prices, who doesn't see the streets where crime and antisocial behavior are daily realities. Now, whether that's true or not is another debate. But in politics, perception is reality. And the more that perception takes hold, the harder it becomes to shake. Britain right now is in a fragile moment. Inflation has come down slightly, but prices remain painfully high. Public services, NHS waiting times, local councils, policing are stretched thin. Add to that global instability, from Ukraine to the Middle East, and it's a recipe for anxiety. Robinson's attack on Sunak lands so strongly because it speaks directly to that anxiety. He isn't offering detailed solutions. He's offering anger, emotion, and a voice that says what many people feel but don't hear from Westminster. Labour, of course, is watching closely. Keir Starmer doesn't need Robinson's endorsement. In fact, he'd probably reject it outright. But the more Robinson paints Sunak as weak and failing, the more it indirectly makes Labour better, because in a two-party showdown, any damage to the Conservatives strengthens the opposition. And Labour strategists know this. One senior Labour figure told a journalist, "Robinson is toxic, but Sunak's real problem is that Robinson's criticisms echo what ordinary voters already think." That's the political danger. Robinson might be divisive, but he's amplifying an existing weakness. So what happens next? For Sunak, the choice is clear. He can ignore Robinson's words, dismiss them as fringe outrage, and carry on with business as usual. But that's risky. Because ignoring criticism doesn't make it disappear, it allows it to spread unchecked. Or, he can address the anger head-on. Show empathy. Show understanding. Show that he knows life is hard right now, and that his government isn't just about statistics and press releases, it's about people's daily lives. The second path is harder. But if Sunak wants to salvage trust before the next election, it may be his only option. And here's the real kicker. This isn't just about Robinson versus Sunak. It's about Britain's political mood. Right now, trust is thin. Patience is short. People are tired of polished speeches and party spin. They want answers and they want action. Robinson gave them anger. But the question is who will give them solutions. So here's where we leave it. Tommy Robinson says Sunak failed Britain. His critics say Robinson thrives on chaos. Both might be true. But the real issue isn't their words, it's the frustration that so many people feel. And that frustration is dangerous. Because once the public stops believing in political leadership, once they feel abandoned, once they feel unheard, that's when movements rise, when narratives shift, and when politics itself changes course. So ask yourself this. If Robinson's anger is only a mirror of what's already out there, then what happens when that anger grows louder and more people start to believe it? And the question remains, if this is just the beginning, how much deeper does it go?